turning 70 in the Philippines really never occurred to me as anything other than just another birthday. But
Actually, turning 70 is actually a privilege, That's amazing. I can't wait to turn 70s, but 70 years old. But that's amazing,
it was a good excuse to invite friends over and entertain them. In the Philippines, it's a much bigger deal
It's good to be alive until 70. Yeah.
culturally to invite people to your home and have a bonding time with them. Now, that's something I really hadn't been able to do in the 3 years that I've been here. Then again, I've been spending a lot of money on the house, and I was getting closer and closer to being finished so I could get back out on the road, which is my dream.
But that's amazing. He has a lot in him. He has a great energy. He speak with. He speak with. He can reach 90 years old.
I'm finishing the house and living strictly on my Social Security income. So there wasn't really enough income to do both. I'll just sit this one out this year. I'll just sit at home, maybe have a cheat day on my diet, make a nice meal, watch some movies, and really just hang out by myself, actually. Anyway, a guy who is new to the Philippines, new to Porac, he had asked me to go along with him to renew our passports. It's my time for me to renew my passport and him as well. So the footage you're looking at is of that trip on the way to renew passports. What I'm sharing with you here is the random thoughts I had as we were rolling down the road, reminiscing about my life at 70 after 3 years in the Philippines. Keep in mind what I'm chatting about is coming from a totally different mindset.
You realize that everybody is being here in the Philippines for so long. He does not stay in big cities. Most of the people stay in the provinces and stuff like that. So that's footage is from Angela City, yeah?
Than I had a couple of years before I got here, on my way here, or when I landed. I was basing what my life would be like here based upon everything I had ever known. So the alternative, natural, normal life here, it never even occurred to me because I had never experienced it, even though I'd been to the Philippines a couple of times for just about a month each. Now, I'd watched hundreds of hours of videos from all the usual suspects about what life would be like when you get to the Philippines. So if I'd have made a list...
I mean, you can watch 100 videos, but you can't get the sense of... you can get a little bit of sense, but you can't get the real feeling unless if you come and put your feet on the ground, That's the best way.
Everything I wanted out of life before I got here, before I left to come here, and I...
As a people perspective, sometimes it can be wrong, It can be, yeah.
Got everything on that list, I would have cut myself short. So let's say, for example, in my list under food, I was going to have bananas every day. I love bananas, but I had never had papaya or mango. What about dragon fruit? Never even heard of it. So based upon everything I'd ever known in my life, I would have cut myself short. So let's take this example and apply
dragon
it to culture.
Fruit, I think it's Asian fruit.
The way bananas are picked 3 days before they go to market instead of 3 weeks. So they're ripened on the vine instead of a container or warehouse on the way to America. And that's a whole new thing. So in my imagination, I would make sort of an outline or design of what life would be like when I got here. And now looking back, I can see that what I was really doing was figuring out how to transfer my Western lifestyle here to the Philippines. And I was fine with that because that's all I knew. And everything was pretty much based upon...
Changing your environment actually is very exciting, and very... just like taking a fresh air from somewhere, So I encourage anybody to change the environment and take a chance, Yeah.
Upon the difference of cost of living, budgets, and those kinds of things. I could afford a nicer house, a few other things, and so on. I was trying to figure out what I could bring with me. Maybe I tried to find a 20-foot container. I had my checklist of what I was going to do when I got here. Blah, blah, blah. I had it all figured out. And boy, was I going to hit the ground running. Looking back, instead of modifying my lifestyle here, I should have looked at it more like going to summer camp when I retire. Somewhere fresh and new and exciting. But hey, I didn't know what I didn't know. A few days ago, I found this old photo of me sitting in front of my $10,000 dining room set, my Hugo Boss suit, as I was on my way to work. This was an example of what I was trying to find the container for. Now, if you're going to have a dining room set like this, you also have to have the china to go with it. If you got the china, you have to have the proper silverware, linens, and so on. And then there's the living room and bedroom. And what about the jukebox that used to belong to a famous rock star? You see where I'm going with this? Okay, so let's say I did that. Now that I have all of this wonderful furniture and everything that goes with it, I've got to find some place to house all this stuff. I got to find a house that will accommodate everything that I've...
I don't know, he got me thinking, like, me, after I reach 70 years old, where do I want to retire in? I mean, this is amazing, actually. This make you think.
Transferred here. Now, that would have added a huge amount to my budget, especially where I had planned on living when I got here. Now there went the financial freedom and all the traveling I planned on doing. So the only thing that would have changed in my life is the geographics. And man, would I have cut myself short. Today, life's an adventure. Today, my life is not grounded in everything that I'd ever known or all of the things that I'd accumulated throughout my life. Today is an absolute adventure every day and completely different than anything that I'd ever done before or imagined. It's like an absolutely new life, starting from scratch, and it's not influenced by all of the worldly possessions that I had brought along with me. In
I
November,
like this guy actually. He is deep thinker. He doesn't go around the surface of stuff, but he's deep.
I just paid my rent for the entire year, so my next rent is due next November. I literally could get up at this very moment, walk out the door, and fly anywhere in the Philippines, stay for at least a week, and fly back. That is financial freedom, my friends, and I would not have had that if I had moved my life from America to here. Today, I'm traveling to
spending less.
see a
He's spending
volcano
less.
or a waterfall or a nice white sand beach somewhere instead of sitting around dusting off the treasures I've collected over my life. I've been here 3 years and I haven't met a single Jones. I got nobody to keep up with. My new normal today never even occurred to me. I mean, I'd seen it and heard about it and Minimalist and other people, but it was never anything that I aspired to. I sort of evolved into it, and one day I realized that I was so much happier today than I would have been had I evolved into a modified me, which is what I'd set out to do. Now, I wasn't unhappy in San Diego. I'd had a good life, and I'd had a good run, but I wasn't ready to say, and he lived happily ever after. I wanted another chapter or two before that. I didn't.
Yeah, that's amazing actually. He has a lot of energy within him, to travel and go around and see different stuff. Increase his.
Exactly peak
At
in high
70,
school,
that's
and I
amazing
didn't want to
actually
sit
for
around
me.
and overstuffed recliner watching reruns clipping coupons. The more traveling I do and the more adventures I have, the happier I am about the way things have turned out. Now, I had been here a couple of times for about a month each, probably total about 2 months. On my trips here before, I had been traveling, so I really hadn't immersed myself in the local culture. It was from a tourist point of view where I was enjoying the sights and scenery, but I had no intention of living here. That was back in 2014, 2016. I didn't really pay that much attention to the actual culture, and I hadn't been around long enough to develop those interpersonal connections and the experiences you make with people that influence your evolution. Let me give you another example. I had a relationship with a girl here, and I asked her, I said,
His office is too small, yeah, Angeles City, yeah, because it's so far from the main city.
what is it about me that you find attractive?
Oh, it's not
She
that.
said, because you're so kind. That was her number one reason. It wasn't because I was handsome or I was rich or I was this or I was that. It was because I was kind. At the time, that answer just seemed so foreign. I'd never heard anything like it. But today, as I've evolved, it makes perfect sense. It's no longer Western thinking, but as I look back, I'm fine with that. These are examples of how I have changed and how life is today as I'm looking back. I've also
This paper here in Manila, it looks different. I think it does look different to me. Oh, this is the same.
figured out that when I'm
Looks different,
reminiscing,
actually.
I'm really only reminiscing about the last 3 years since I've been here. I've just changed so much in the last 3 years. I just really don't relate to the mindset that I had when I got here. When I was reminiscing, I realized I couldn't even imagine how my life would be today if I just transferred everything over here. I don't believe the Philippines would have been my first choice if I had double or triple the income. But I can tell you, if I had a raise to double or triple the income today, I would definitely.
I feel like it doesn't matter with the income, it matter with the place. But unless if you try it and you come and check what's going on, you won't have a full idea. You won't be able to make the full decision. Yeah.
Stay knowing what I know and having changed as I have. These are the thoughts that I was having on my birthday after 3 years in the Philippines and turning 70 years old. Looking back, if I could give myself some advice, the younger me at 67, I would say, don't be in such a rush to drop anchor. Don't be in such a rush to buy a house, make long-term commitments. You might wake up 6 months to a year from now and realize that, hey, mango, papaya, and dragon fruit, those are my new favorite. Instead of getting in a big rush to get settled down, try being in a big rush to be on vacation for a while. Anyway, with all of the positive realizations I'd had, reminiscing.
That's a good advice, actually. Don't rush to buy stuff before,
Throughout the day, I was happy just to head home. I was going to have a quiet night, just be hanging out, and I was happy. I was in a good mood from all those positive thoughts that I had. As I walked home and I walked through the gate, I was in my happy place. I don't remember being happier anywhere ever. A little project house here in the province. I mean, what
That's
more could
good.
I ask for? My biggest waste of time when I came here was trying to transfer my Western lifestyle here to the Philippines. I wasn't really leaving room to be influenced by what was all around me. It took me a good 6 months just to allow myself to evolve away from bananas as my favorite fruit. Finally, along the way, I tried the mango. I tried
Small stuff that make you happy. It's not the big stuff, but
the papaya and even discovered dragon fruit. And that, my friends, is when my life really started to evolve.
it seems like dragon fruit is culture, you know,
I still have the best of the West,
culture
but
shock.
I've acquired some experiences that have really enhanced and enriched the quality of my life. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you haven't subscribed, how about a birthday present?
Yeah, that's amazing. Actually, you find the details below. Yeah, but that's good. You know, the main idea is to to don't reach your 70 in the place where you're born. You know, go somewhere else. You know, experience life. But that's amazing.